Hey, it's Casey Orr and Sean Whitfield with iTruckTV.com. It's time for your NASCAR update, and we're going to get you up to speed. And this week, it's Michigan International Speedway, home of the Quicken Loans 400, and the home of Greg Biffle's first victory this year, Sean. And it was a little excitement late in the race as he outruns Jimmy Johnson, who blows a tire, but it was a real strong run for the 16 team.
That's right. We had some very fast speeds at Michigan this past weekend, and Greg Biffle gets his 19th victory in his NASCAR Sprint Cup career and the 1,000th victory for Ford Motor Company in the NASCAR Sprint Cup, Nationwide, and Camping World Truck Series in all the history of Ford Motor Company.
And you know they love doing that right there in the backyard of the big three auto manufacturers at Michigan, where bragging rights are so important to these teams. But really, for Roush Fenway, you know, Carl Edwards wins early in the year. They haven't had a lot of success, and then we go to a track where horsepower is king, and Greg Biffle, when he got in clean air, he was just better than everybody else.
Yes, he was. And you know, Greg Biffle didn't even qualify that well. He started on the in the lineup at 19th position and ended up getting in victory lane. And of course, it's his first victory and 6th top 10 finish in 2013. Let's move right into the results of the Quicken Loans 400. Greg Biffle, of course, was our winner. Kevin Harvick in 2nd, 3rd Martin Truex Jr., 4th Kyle Busch, 5th was Tony Stewart, 6th was Matt Kenseth, 7th Clint Boyer, 8th Carl Edwards, 9th Joey Logano, and 10th Jeff Burton.
Some other notables: Sean Austin Dillon, a rookie, finished 11th. Brad Keselowski 12th. Danica Patrick, her best finish since Martinsville, she finished 13th. Now listen to this. We know it was a good day for Roush Fenway with Carl Edwards in the top 10 and Greg Biffle getting the victory. Listen to these finishes from the Hendrick Motorsports gang. Jimmy Johnson, who we said blew a tire late, finished 28th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 37th. Casey Kane 38th. And Jeff Gordon 39th. Sean, this is the first time since 2005 that a Hendrick Motorsports car didn't finish in the top 25.
You know, it is pretty unbelievable, but it just is a reminder that they are human as well, and that there is a chance for them to make some mistakes. And certainly Michigan was one of those places where it happened for the first time in nearly 8 years. There were 8 caution flags for 38 laps and 22 lead changes among 13 drivers.
You know, you just had the feeling late in the race with Jimmy Johnson stalking Greg Biffle. Even though Biffle's car was a little better, you just had the feeling that some sort of magic was going to propel the 48 team, getting back-to-back victories, getting 5 for the season, but that didn't happen. It's like you said, it proved that Hendrick Motorsports were mere mortals, and it was. It was a big victory for the 16 team, Greg Biffle getting his first victory of the season, and it helped him out quite a bit in the points.
And after Michigan, we go right into the points report in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And of course, Jimmy Johnson continues to lead the drivers' standings in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, 31 points ahead of 2nd place Carl Edwards. In 3rd was Clint Boyer, 4th Kevin Harvick, 5th is Matt Kenseth, 6th is Kyle Busch, 7th Dale Earnhardt Jr., 8th Greg Biffle, 9th Brad Keselowski, and 10th Tony Stewart.
Paul Menard's in 11th spot, Casey Kane in 12th. If the chase were to start today, those would be your 2 wild card winners. Casey Kane does have a victory. He would move to 11th. Paul Menard would move to 12th. Real quick, Sean, we got to talk about a couple guys that had really bad days and it dropped them in points. That would be Jeff Gordon. He goes from 12th to 16th. And of course, Kurt Busch fell all the way to 20th with their bad runs. But let's talk about good runs as well. Tony Stewart, 4 weeks ago, was in 20th and had no shot of doing anything. Now he's 10th in the standings, and he seems to be on a roll.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. We had already kind of written Tony Stewart off, and here he is in the top 10 in the point standings and continues to run well ever since Dover.
So I always say when the weather heats up, so does Tony Stewart. But if you look at the standings right now, only about 20 points separates 11th from down to 18th and 19th. It really is still anyone's game, but wins become more and more important. And now where do we go? We go to a road course where guys like Marcos Ambrose and Juan Pablo Montoya, they have a chance to hop in and get a victory and really announce themselves on the scene in the 2013 season. So now that Michigan's over, NASCAR continues to heat up.
That's right, and we get our first road course race of the year coming up this weekend in Sonoma, California, with the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway. And this is also the first road course race for the new Generation 6 stock car.
Well, I look forward to coming back and talking about the road courses this time next week, Shawn, because restarts at road courses are some of the best in the sport, and I really think it adds that little edge like to some of the teams that don't normally get up front. Guys, like we said, Marcos Ambrose, Juan Pablo Montoya, some of those teams have a chance to really make a move.
And of course, Casey and I are going to keep you up to speed each and every week right here on iTruckTV.com. Also, you can catch us on the radio with Valvoline Racing Radio on Rock 105, and that's each and every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. If you're outside the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, you can find us streaming at iHeartRadio.
Right here on the NASCAR update at iTruck TV, where Shawn and I keep you up to speed.